So, Carl, as my viewers know, I have two children. The eldest is on the spectrum. Um, because he's not even 6 years old. He's not old enough to do any of the Davis programs. But how could the Davis program help my child? At what age could he start the program, and which programs would be available? Because there's more than one. Could you shed some light onto this matter?
Yes. So, again, a big question. So it depends what spectrum your son is on. So I like to think of it like there's two roads we can go down. Okay. We can go down this learning disability road label, which would be dyslexia, ADD, ADHD, dysgraphia, dyspraxia, learning disability type 1, type 2. So that's like a spectrum, like a road you can go down. Then there's another road that is the autism spectrum disorder. Okay, so the ASD road. So somebody we know has been diagnosed with autism or Asperger's, either mild, moderate, or severe, down that road. So Ron, basically, because he was severely dyslexic and autistic, he's basically developed, yeah, best way of talking about, like, two roads you can go down. You can go down this learning disability spectrum road or this autism spectrum road.
And the child may have both.
Child may have both, like Ron, right? They can have coexisting. So if we take a look at somebody on the learning disability road, as other people would call it, somebody might have difficulty with literacy. So we would call that learning disability type 1 or type 2, or dyslexia. I call it dyslexia. I dropped the term learning disability for all kinds of reasons. I understand why it's there, but I don't really like it for a whole bunch of reasons. So I replace it with the term dyslexia, and so does Ron. And there's a reason why. Okay. They could also have a lot of hyperactivity. So if they were very, very hyper, they probably wouldn't get the label dyslexia or learning disability. They'd probably get the label ADD or ADHD. And there's three types of ADHD. I think ADD is actually out of the DSM now, but a lot of adults have been diagnosed with that, so we still use it. You could also have dysgraphia. So dysgraphia is when it happens, you have poor penmanship. You could have dyscalculia, which would be difficulty with mathematics and arithmetic and all the concepts with that. You could have dyspraxia. And when we look at this dyslexia spectrum, what we find is people have coexisting problems. So they never just have one. I've never had somebody come to me who just has dyslexia. They always have other difficulties. They, on a scale of 1 to 10, the dyslexia might be 10, but the focusing thing might look like it's a 3, but it's actually a 5.
I'm just going to interrupt you there, because
Yeah.
before I spoke with you, before I read Ron's work, it was very depressing, because I said, okay, great. So not only is there autism, but there's even going to be like this and that. And it just felt like the labels kept on piling up. And then when you realize that there's a root cause, which Ron calls disorientation, it almost liberated. It felt like a
Yeah.
liberation, because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like there's a root cause. Let's get to the root cause, and then we could really start, unpacking it for what it
Yeah.
is.
So that's really nicely said. That's what Ron has basically done. He's got to the root cause and then unpacked all the problems that anybody could have. So if you've got a problem with literacy and no problem with mathematics, then you just do the first program around literacy and focusing. If you have problems with mathematics, then you're going to have to do some other programs. If you've got
How long are these programs for
They
care?
depend on the person. So it depends on the basically on which path you're going down. So if you were going down the dyslexia path, then there are 3 basic 1-week programs that you could do with somebody. I'm going to generalize here. They're approximately 5 days each. They build on each other. The first program that we do is to do really with literacy. It's our answer to literacy, but there's way more going on in that than just literacy. We're using literacy in effect to really train the individual and how their dyslexia is working for them.
Hi, I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you would like to find the nearest Davis facilitator to you, you need to go to the links below. They'll be listed in the description somewhere, depending on which channel you're watching this on. If you want to find the nearest Davis facilitator to you, I suggest you go there and just follow the links. If you're interested in training as a Davis facilitator, then again, just go to the links below. You'll find training there. Or if you're looking for a program for yourself, you can also go to those links. My suggestion, if you are really interested in Davis, the best thing to do is to pick up the phone and start talking to a Davis facilitator closest to you, because they will be able to answer all of your questions. That's it for now. See you in the next video.